back to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. We have our sneezing co-host, James, from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Link in description. Welcome in, James.
Not funny for that. That's messed up.
Everybody sneezes.
Child, I'm trying to get it out. It won't come out. Allergy season, y'all. Yes, and my tree out front does not help.
Oh, you have a tree. You know, I have to do allergy shots. I didn't get to do it because I have COVID right now, but I'm allergic to apparently almost every tree that exists. I said, what?
Me too.
I just be hiking and loving it. Now it makes sense why I could never breathe when I hike. Now I know. Anywho, you guys, we're here to go over the Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is the part 3, the final episode of season 14, the reunion. I'm glad we finished the other live early because there's a lot to talk about. Let's just jump right on into it and waste no time. Everybody's welcome to comment your opinions, comment things you'd like us to discuss, all that. We welcome it and we welcome thee. Now, Sutton was speaking and Doris tries to say that Sutton tries to buy people. Nobody on the stage agreed with that. Kathy even went as far to say that Sutton is frugal and cheap. I said, Dorit, you just came to this reunion seeing that people liked you a little bit and you're milking it. And you think you could just holler stuff at people. You could tell Dorit has learned nothing, has not changed. Like, over her. Also, welcome in, Shani. I'm glad you are here. But they move on to mention that Garcelle felt like Bose was Dorit's spokesperson. And Bose claims that Sutton called her an angry Black woman. That's strike 2, bitch. Mm-hmm. So you go against the only Black woman on the cast, and then when you don't get your way, you play the race card. Call me an angry Black woman. I don't feel like Sutton called Bose an angry Black woman. She said it seems like she's angry at her because it did seem that way. You were going so hard for Dorit, and now you demand and say that you have your own mind. So yes, it's going to look like you angry at her. And Bose tries to say to Garcelle, I'm surprised you didn't clock that. You should have clocked that comment. I didn't like that. Because if you really felt that way, you could have told her behind closed doors, not in front of all of the clear women there.
I said, ma'am, probably why she didn't clock it is because she didn't process it in that way. And you were looking for a moment to vindicate your own beef with this lady. We're not silly here. We're not retarded. Sorry, lady. Sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to say that word. But we not slow. And Bose is playing. If y'all notice, I'm going to tell you like this. Bose is playing a game of not only trying to ice out the only Black woman out on the cast, but she's trying to elite herself with Dorit, Erica, and Kyle. And I noticed it more so this episode than I did in the whole season. And the reason why I noticed it in this part of the reunion is because of the vitriol that she had to sit there and then use 8.5's same logic against Sutton when you have no other example of her doing that to you was very, very manipulative of you. And are we surprised? No.
You pretty much summed that up perfectly. I'm over Bose. I also think that Bose is going to utilize her intelligence as a way to get. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still sick and my throat entirely went out for a second. But I think Bose is trying to use her intelligence as a way to intimidate the other women. I think she'll use her intelligence and her race as a way to intimidate them, because they're not going to say and stand up and say certain things to her because of how she responds. And she's in marketing. So I think that most of everything that Bose does is very calculated. But if I'm just going to point it out throughout this whole recap, did y'all catch Garcelle's face when Bose said that? So first you've called this woman dangerous and suggested that another white woman sue a Black woman because of a statement that she made that came from fans first. She was just saying what we were asking her to ask on the show, Miss Woman. Now you do this shit. So I don't like Bose. Let's welcome in everybody to the chat. Young Save, little brother, please behave today. Please behave. That's all I asked of you. Just please behave. Miss J, welcome in. Hello to you as well, beautiful human. Shanny's welcoming everybody in. I love it. I love it. I love it. He said, I'm sick too, fam, but I work in construction, so I can't miss her. They'll lay my black ass off.
Well, I can't be mad at that.
I can't be mad at that. At least you go to work. My younger brother, what are you trying to do? Become an electrician? He's doing something. I'm proud of him, though. Good job for you. We support Black men working, child. That's all I know. Thank you. I have COVID. I'm feeling better, but my job is like, you can't come back to your symptom free. I said, that ain't what the CDC said. But I work for seniors. I work with Department of Disability and Aging. So I don't want to get them sick because they could end up in the upper room. Anywho, back to the recap, y'all. So did you have anything extra to add, James?
No, it's so unfortunate because I wanted to like this lady. I really did.
And I think we all wanted to like her. It's the sad part.
So unfortunate. Yeah, we can move on.
Okay, so they move on to the drinking issue that keeps coming up with Sutton and Dorit. Essentially, the comments from Dorit, where she's insinuating that Sutton has a drinking problem, the conversation Dorit had with Kyle, Dorit laughing with her husband about it. They mentioned also Dorit hashtagging facts to comments online from fans who say that Sutton is a drunk. Dorit has pushed this narrative heavily. Like, she has genuinely pushed this narrative heavily. And I don't like it. But Andy points out, you know, a lot of what Dorit has done as well. You could tell Andy does not like Dorit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all that they're looking to do. But, you know, Dorit tries to say that Sutton brought all of this on herself and was like, well, if people are saying that you have a drinking problem, then just maybe you have a little bit of an issue. So it's Dorit tried to gaslight Sutton, and it was so stupid. Just because someone accuses me of drinking too much doesn't mean I'm going to alter my drinking so that they can feel better about how I drink. If you really don't have a problem, why would you expect this woman to change what she does so that it will look as if she doesn't? Is she supposed to care so much about what people think that she's supposed to do that? So these ladies go nowhere. Dorit basically refuses to take accountability for any of that. And Sutton is like, well, what do you expect? If you keep coming for me, I'm going to come for you. And Dorit says to her, well, then I'll hit back harder. And Andy points out that low key sound like a threat. That literally low key sound like a threat. And Dorit's like, it's not a threat, it's a promise. Dorit, keep that same energy at BravoCon in front of all the other Bravo stars and do that with some other people, because you wouldn't fucking act like this with anybody outside of Sutton. You barely can scream at Kyle and are willing to make peace with her so that you could stay relevant. So I don't quite understand that. But how did you feel about that little segment, James? Because it irritated me.
It irritated me too, because I feel like for me, when you were mad about the wallet comment, she could be equally as mad about the drinking comment, but you want that to be vindicated. So I want her wallet comment to be vindicated too. Because, and I didn't like how none of the other ladies had a problem with her calling Sutton alcoholic, but we mad at Sutton for calling Dorit broke.
She is broke. She got an empty room in her house that's toe up that she can't afford to change. Her mortgage is always past due, which tells us they don't have the money to pay it. Nobody says they're not going to make payment on their rent or mortgage as a way to get their way in business. It doesn't work that way. You pay or you fucking default, because you don't own the shit until you pay off the mortgage company. So she irks James. This white woman irks me, and it takes everything in me to behave on this live, and I'm gonna do the best I can.
You just go off, because there's something else she said at the end of this that just made me go, oh wow, you really went there.
Go ahead and mention it.
What
she said? You said there's something else she said
at the end. At the end of the episode, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, in the scene, what did I miss? I was like, go home.
No, you didn't miss anything. No, at the end of the episode, she said something that was just completely rich coming from her.
Oh, I know. And we will read her for filth, because I think I know what you're talking about. Let's get into the comments, y'all, before we move to the next little segment. Young Say said, yeah, I'm a union electrician in IBW 595, best union local in the world. Oh, we have union people here. Shani said local 1109 in the house. My brother says related to the people on the show. I do not know who none of these people are. I'm just in here to support my sister and her friend, who I assume is black too. Yes, James is a black man.
Yes.
I appreciate the support. Miss J said James is given the corporate answer. I wanted to like her. That is the corporate answer.
That is the corporate answer because I'm not giving her anything else. So
That's
I
what you say when you fire someone. You know, we really wanted to work with you, but
yeah, we wanted to work it out. We wanted you to be the best you can be. We wanted all of the possibilities of grand for you here at the company, but unfortunately, we have come to this decision that we are going to move forward with your termination. Thank you so much for applying. We wish you all of the best in your future endeavors. And, if things don't work out, try applying for us again. And we definitely will look into consideration of employment
Lord help us. He said he is a black man. He is. Shady said PK is an alcoholic. So now everyone is an alcoholic.
Right.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think Dorit does that, especially if you can't find much else wrong or scandalous with someone. And Dorit, you living in a glass house yourself, throwing rocks. Between your finances and the debts that you owe in Las Vegas, you can't even go to Vegas if you wanted to. Be quiet. Not the world was built on blue collar. Who else says it's not a threat, it's a promise in 2025? Doris Kimsley.
Right.
That's why her husband don't like her. Doritos is angry at her life. Lord help us. Mad about a wallet comment, but it's okay for her to call this lady a see you next Tuesday numerous times and an alcoholic. It's comical. The people gas up Porit and now she's high on bull crap. Yep. That's exactly what happened. But you know what I noticed when looking at the comments with Housewives of Beverly Hills? There's the audience members who, just watching for entertainment. Then there's the black audience. And then there's the audience that has a problem with any piece of color that comes onto this show. So they will side with Dorit even if they don't like her in the hopes to get rid of, the newbies. That's my opinion. Miss J says she loves her some James.
I love you more. Yes, I love you too.
James sounds like he's given that speech many times or he has heard it many times. Oh,
I've definitely given that speech many times, unfortunately.
Rita's definitely projecting. She's definitely projecting. Like the fact that we're calling her Porit, I wish Sutton would stand up and see the power that she has in being likable. Because look what we calling her. Sutton said Porit wants to look at us.
And that's why I hate that she apologized for that comment. I wouldn't have apologized for that comment. It is what it is. I said what I said. And if it triggered you or if it hit a button, oh, well, that's how I felt. I don't like being called a drunk. So what are we talking about here?
Right.
You feel like that's my reality? I feel like it's my reality that you broke.
Right.
So what the hell?
I would have kept my foot on Dorit's neck. Okay. I'm a drunk and you broke.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have hit her with the name of him again if she really wanted to.
See, the thing about it is because I would have told Dorit, at least mine is fixable.
True. Homeless, not toothless. Where's that? Where's Beverly Beach? I would have started asking about her businesses. Is that why you have so much time to be mad at me?
Dorit.
Hot Mess Express.
Yeah.
Now, they do move to ask Jennifer Tilly's opinion. And I felt like Jennifer Tilly did well. She was funny and herself, but she was also honest when being asked questions. They asked her opinion on Sutton, and Jennifer Tilly says that she does think that Sutton asks questions inappropriately or at inappropriate times, which I think we can all agree with that. We like it because no one else here is asking the questions. These women don't hold each other accountable. You could tell there's a hierarchy within the cast.
Mm-hmm.
However, Sutton does need to work on like her timing or the way that she does stuff. But I also feel like she don't owe none of these bitches shit. That's just how I feel. Now, Erica says that she thinks that Sutton has bad intentions when she asks certain questions. And Erica, this was rich coming from you because now you're being held accountable in court because you did some wrongdoing as it relates to victims and money and the Tom Girardi scandal. Erica, the world is questioning your intentions, but you want us to care that you think someone else has bad intentions when you said yourself you don't care about anybody but yourself. Just be quiet, Erica. Go sing. Go sing on Broadway while you can. Please. It irks my soul. James, you have anything to add to Erica's little piece?
No, I'll wait till we get to the other topic of Erica to add my 2 cents.
Okay. Miss J says Sutton could be on the spectrum, but she does ask the questions that no one else asks. She does kind of give that energy, and a lot of people, especially her age from different generations, get diagnosed later or are never diagnosed. And she's very awkward. She's very, very awkward. So I can definitely see that. Now they ask Garcelle if she thinks that Sutton throws rocks and hides her hands. And Garcelle says yes. And then she states that she is pissed off and does not want to answer any more questions. Now, Garcelle, if you are mad, you need to tell us you mad when you get mad, not when they finally come back to you to ask you a question. Now, we'll get more into Garcelle in depth because I could tell during the reunion she was having like almost like a come to Jesus, like realizing I will never be able to build a bond with any of these people. They do not like me and I cannot trust, especially Bose with that comment. She cannot trust them. I don't understand why you tell us that you're pissed, but you don't want to really tell us what you're pissed about. I feel like Garcelle's timing is so effed up. And it's funny because she was closest with Sutton, and this is Sutton's problem as well. Like, elaborate. Now, I know later on in the episode she does, but if you're pissed and you don't want to answer any more questions, and get your ass up and leave the stage sooner than waiting to the end of it. Why stay if you don't want to answer any more questions?
Here's the thing, and I have an answer to that. Because Garcelle does not know at what point they're going to cut out any scenes with her if she leaves early on the 3rd episode. Because remember, they get their checks at the end of this. So she stayed there for the very end to make sure she got that last and final check, which I would have too. I was not mad at her for that. I actually wasn't mad at her for saying that. Because I actually understood because think about it. Your best friend that's sitting next to you is so worried about the other heifer sitting next to her and pissing and appeasing her this entire time that she completely discards you. That's one. Then you have the only other Black woman on the cast that tells you because of something that everybody in the world speculated about the heifer sitting next to her, you have the nerve and the gall to say that had it been you, I would have sued you. I'm sorry. I was with Garcelle 110% because nobody came to her defense, even though we didn't see it, even though it wasn't portrayed in a way where it sounded like Bo said it, but we know in fact that she did. So for me, I would have said the same thing and I would have sat my ass there, smiled, said, yeah, that's cool. I agree. No, I don't agree. I'm not going to tell you why. I would have sat there to the very end too to get my last check because that's the least I could have done before I made my exit. So I wasn't mad at her at all. I actually applauded her for not speaking.
It makes sense. With her leaving, I'll give her a pass. But if she were staying on this show, doesn't matter to me. You're on reality TV. You chose to be here. If you feel away, the reunion is the space where you feel away. And for me, I've seen Garcelle do this pattern the whole time on the show. Before any of it got this far, you could tell that she's just not a person that's about drama. And when she gets upset, I think she shuts down and disappears. I don't think she welcomes people in. But when you're on a show like this, that may work when you're filming. But at the reunion, we expect you to talk about it. However, with her quitting, since she did finish just the filming and then quit, I'm fine with it because I don't blame her. Like, if you can walk away, walk away. But I'm not one for leaving money on the table. So
me either. That's why I
to the end and do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's why I said I wasn't mad that she sat there. I wasn't because of how we know Bravo handles the money situation.
Mhm.
I would have sat there too, and I would have answered nothing because if she would have answered and she would have opened her mouth, then she would have three attack dogs that was sitting on the other side of the table
So she gave
attacking
them
her for
nothing to talk about.
right.
And you
I would have gave
kind
them
of
my
felt
answer
it
too.
because this was all over the place. This part of the reunion, and you could tell that it was all over the place because she shut down and refused to speak
Hmm.
any further. Which
No, it just shows
some
how much of a
people,
value she really is. It just
that
shows
is true.
how valuable she really is to this cast because without her going back and forth with Dorit, with Erica, and now with Bose, what do we really have here? Because the rest of them get along. All we have
Yep,
left is Sutton.
they're gonna gang up on Sutton, who's not
Yep.
defending her, which was ridiculous. Which was absolutely ridiculous. Let me catch the comments. Miss J told Erica to go do her wallpaper. Right, it's probably peeling by now. Miss J said Garcelle is checked out because she sees through the bull. That is true. You could see her like awakening. Like if you pay attention to her just reactions to when other people were speaking, you could tell she was done.
Hmm.
She was done. Miss J says, I think Garcelle is having a delay buildup of all the years of bull that they have done to her. Being in a room and not being seen as a Black successful woman, it can break you at one point. I shut down. Yeah,
Hmm. But
I
see that's the difference. They need somebody like me on the show. You can't break me, no matter how hard you try. You can't break me. So it would have been fun because I definitely would have got Erica. I definitely would have got Dorit, and I definitely would have got Bose. And if Kyle wanted, she can get it too. So I would have got them all together all at one time because they can come after me all they want to. I think the problem with Garcelle is that she was so afraid in her first couple of seasons to go at them. It
She
wasn't
was the
until
first Black housewife, so it really wasn't safe, and everything that she did was under a microscope. So to feel that and to make a safe space for Bose and then Bose attack her, I do feel for her in that aspect because she
I
had to
do
go
too.
through the
But at
hard
the
stuff.
same time, y'all, we have to get to a space that in these type of environments, they already have their mind made up of who we are. And to always rise above it takes more work than to say, I'm not one to fuck with. So you could try it if you want to.
Garcelle's also working with companies that Bose came from. Survival of the Thickest coming back. She's executive producing some other shows on Netflix.
Mhm.
She's got stuff she's producing and starring in that's coming back to Lifetime. She has a deal with Hulu. This woman is booked and busy, and they're all on here basically only able to talk about their failed relationships because there's nothing. I agree with this comment as well. They wanted a reaction and they didn't get it out of her. They wanted the angry Black woman. Sad but true, and I feel for her. You could tell that's why they kept saying, You're not interesting. You're not interesting. This woman came in with scandal, relevancy. Jennifer Tilly, if we look at her, though the money may be different, Jennifer Tilly came in divorced. Jennifer Tilly came in an actress. She didn't really give much, but the ladies, for the most part, and the audience received her more. But then you look at people like Garcelle who are similar, and she's just painted under something, and they say she's not interesting because she's not arguing and angry. But then Jennifer Tilly isn't arguing and angry, and people find her interesting. So it is
Well,
that
first of
common
all,
stereotype of angry Black woman. They want it, and they're not getting it,
hmm
and it's not
it
fair.
would be different. Let me, because when I think of like a black woman in an all black cast, like I get what y'all are saying, but let's turn the tables. Look at Mary Cosby in her realm of being the only black woman on a cast full of all white women and her not giving a fuck about how they see her and how she'll read each and every last one of them. Now, in Mary Cosby's defense, she is the richest one of them all. So I totally get like you ain't gonna break her. And Real Housewives of Salt Lake City started because of her. But at the same time, you do have some of the white women on that show undermining her as well, and she does not care. She's going to tell you exactly how she feels, what she feels, and not give a fuck about if you start crying or not. So I think that for me, I totally get what y'all are saying, and I totally get the Jennifer Tilly reference too. But at the same time, we have to get to a point where we have to marry Cosby our way through these Bravo situations. We do. Because if we don't, then that gives shit to build up, like it has with Garcelle until she finally reached a breaking point. Now we lucky she booked and busy, so she doesn't need the show. But at the same time, I don't like how she went out. I don't. Because I felt like everybody was able to chip a piece of her and she wasn't able to get her look back. That's how I feel.
I don't think staying would have been worth it. I also feel like Garcelle's playing the long game, and in the industry, unlike Mary, this woman has a career in Hollywood. She has a career where she has to deal with a lot of people who may not be African American. Mary got her church and old money that she's had for decades and years. The money was there before she was born. It'll be there after she is gone. So I do think it's a little different. Also, the Salt Lake City Housewives, they want to be relevant, but no shade. They're just really not, except the people who have left the show.
Mhm.
But yeah, I definitely think it's different because Garcelle's going to have to entertain spaces where she cannot behave the way that someone like Mary Cosby can, where she doesn't give a fuck. And I don't think she questions herself, but just the business that she does and the types of people that she has to work with, who her ex-husband is and things like that, she cannot move the way Mary does. So while what Mary is doing is a wonderful thing, because read them for filth, hold everyone accountable, I don't think at all it's comparable, because I don't think that would ever work for Garcelle, especially with this franchise, which has just been rooted in
Well, we don't know until we try.
bullshit.
And we know Bose is not going to do it. So
Bose is doing it, but Bose is doing it in a calculated way. Bose is going to end up getting betrayed, and we're going to talk about that a little more in a little bit. So Sutton moves on to say that she does not think that she is liked by the group. She does not understand why Erica wants to be her friend if Erica thinks that Sutton kicks women when they're down. And, then Sutton came with some bullshit. I don't like Sutton no more, y'all. It went from her being my favorite housewife to me side-eyeing her to now I'm just like, I don't like Sutton and she can go. She has the money anyway. She don't need this, because you had a good point there, Sutton. Like, why you want to be my friend and you say you like me if you think I kick women when they're down? Why would you like anybody who does that? Explain that and stop trying to act like you want to be my friend. We're coworkers. But no, Sutton doesn't do that. Instead, she apologizes again and says that she will do better. I'm over Sutton. I have no words.
I was very disappointed at that too, because Sutton, let me explain something to you. If you don't hear this, I done said this on this a million times. You were not wrong in how you dealt with Erica 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago, whenever the fuck that happened. You were not wrong. And you let Erica, with this very vindictive lawyer mentality that she has been groomed to become, you let that scare you into thinking that you've now made her this victim and you're the predator. It was not that at all. And the fact that you fed into that is what pissed me off about you. Because Erica knew she was dead ass wrong. Erica knew she had answers. Erica knew that what her husband was up to. I don't care what she says. She knew what her husband was up to. That's why she ain't in no rush to divorce his ass. Because she know ain't no judge gonna let her out that shit. So for you to sit up there now backpedaling, that's what pissed me off. Because no, keep your foot on that neck. Say exactly what it is. You have all the evidence. You literally laid it out in black and white. That's what made me love you from the whole get-go, because nobody else was doing it and hiding behind her because they were scared of her. You act like you wasn't scared of her. Now I don't know what to think of you. But there's no way Erica would have pulled that on me. I'm sorry. No way.
I agree with every single word that you said. I think back to Taylor Armstrong, who left this franchise to go to Orange County, and I'm looking like maybe Sutton and people need to leave, because you could tell that Kyle and Erica are gonna run the show going forward, and I'm not here for it. It's annoying. Taylor said I'm not coming back to deal with that shit, and she could have, and she said no, thank you. Let's get the comment from Miss J. Miss J says Sutton wants to be one of the cool girls. She will sell her cats for a seat at the table. Sutton, you are in danger. Sutton doesn't care.
Sutton doesn't care, because here's the thing. Sutton wasn't embraced by her own mama. And so I see what this is. This is trauma. of always wanting to be accepted, because the one person that is supposed to just biologically accept you gives you a hard time because her acceptance doesn't come in the words where you would receive it. So she plays that with these women as well, which is why her relationship with Kyle is so important to her, because Kyle at one point did vindicate Sutton in the acceptance that she wants, and then she breadcrumbed her and took it away.
That's
And she
true.
just keeps she keeps breadcrumbing her, and Sutton keeps picking up the crumbs, hoping that it would turn into a loaf of bread. And it's not. And I'm sick of Sutton doing this shit, because it's like, man, Kyle don't even like Kyle. So what the hell makes you think she don't like you?
Yep, Kyle is confused.
Yes.
And we'll get to that later, but Kyle is confused. And it's sad because a lot of the people, and this happens like traditionally in schools with kids and shows, like the popular people, oftentimes they're sometimes the most miserable. And, you know, it takes some people a while to get that. Some people never get it in life, but it's definitely an issue. Miss J is feeling what James is saying. Now, Andy asked Garcelle after that little bullshit Sutton segment. I'm so done with her. Andy asked Garcelle why she's so upset. And she explains calmly that she does not feel like, since she's been on the show, that she has ever received any grace. She says that she was told to come on the show and to speak her mind, give her opinions, and to be accountable. She says that then when she started to do that, because basically at first they felt she was too quiet and boring, then she gave her opinions, and now they feel like it's too much. She says that it's never accepted. Her apologies, it almost is like the people do not want to move forward with her. That is true. That is true. Garcelle has tried to move forward with people. She's tried to be cool with people. When she first came on the show, Kyle and Erica were talking about she's hard to get to know and she's got a wall up. And, you know, then she brought her wall down a little bit, and then they go and they betray her. So it's like she's damned if she does, she damned if she doesn't. And she then mentions when she looked at everyone at one point during the reunion, nobody smiled back at her. And you know, they start to talk about it a little, and the women kind of try to argue what she said. And this to me is where she quit. She said, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. She just kept saying it's okay. And honestly, that's how I get. If I'm mad enough, I will get passive aggressive and be a true Gemini and shut you down and dismiss that ass. It's okay. We don't got nothing to talk about. She explained herself. They didn't get it. They wanted to argue her down, which proved her point. When she is accountable and says her truth, you people don't fucking listen to it. These bitches don't fucking receive it. I think Sutton, while she's talking about she doesn't feel like the women really like her, get out yourself and look at your friend, because it's her that they don't like. And I think that the women would be okay with Sutton and give Sutton less shit if she wasn't so close to Garcelle.
I agree.
My question is, why don't you guys like Garcelle? Garcelle has spoken the same truths to you guys that you've spoken to each other. Why don't you like Garcelle? It seemed like when Garcelle came on the show and was just moving into her house, fresh after divorce and figuring out her life, you guys were willing to accept her. But it seems like once this Black woman became successful, then these bitches started to have a problem, because it intimidates them that she's doing alone what these bitches could not ever do independently, Kyle included. So I'm just looking with the side eye, and Garcelle whispers, these women really hate me. It's clear. I said, this is the moment she quit. Mm-hmm. And then they move on to a comment about how Erica made a comment on Garcelle's body count and all the people she's dated. Girl, not when you slept with the crib keeper, literally for years and years and years, scamming other people just so that you could make a life for you and your son. Don't say anything to her about her body count, because I didn't like the comment. Because half of the men that Garcelle's talked to would never want to talk to any of these women. So I don't understand it. But how'd you feel about that, James?
I feel like that was a slight that Erica did. And I was insulted for Garcelle. I really was. I was insulted because how dare you? How dare you put such vitriol and energy out there like that about me? Like, how dare you? Talking about she want to know about that. Like, we want to know who you fucking. Because you're not sitting up there just only being Mrs. Girardi, and that 80-year-old man is the only man you've been with. Come on, Erica. Who are you fucking? We all want to know. So yeah, that shit pissed me off. I was like, oh, Erica. Mm-mm.
New Rock said Debbie Matna, I can't say it, from The View is rumored to join next season.
I
I
don't
heard
even know
she
who
is a
that
mess
is.
when she drinks.
Who is that?
I don't know, but if she's a mess when she drinks, maybe they'll talk about that instead of Sutton's drinking. Not the Crypt Keeper. Yep, that's how Tom Girardi looked. Y'all seen the pictures of him looking confused outside of that nursing home? And now he's trying to go for hospitalization instead of.
No, take your ass to prison. If
Take
Bill
your ass to
Cosby,
jail
if
with
Bill
gorilla.
Cosby can go up in there, so can you. Ain't nobody gonna sit up here and play with you, sir. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Go on, take your ass up in there.
So we move on to discuss Erica. I guess her son testified in ASAP Rocky's trial.
That was random as hell.
It was random. I don't really like cops too much. I understand we need them, but if he a cop in New York, I don't trust him. And anybody from New York should understand me there. Good for her son. I don't really care about his big reveal. I don't really care who he is. I would love him to use some of the equipment to tell us when it snowed in Pasadena, because I can't tell you. But other than that, I don't really care. So if y'all want to comment, feel free to comment. I don't care. They also ask Erica why she is not divorced Tom, and she says that her lawyer says they need to get on it. Girl, we know from Ronald Richards that the judge blocked it.
Like, she need to stop. Now, see, Sutton, this was your chance. This is why we still mad at you. Because this was your chance to read her for absolute filth. To say, girl, you know that judge ain't granting that divorce. You know, stop playing with us. Stop playing.
I'm not even going to waste the time on it. Because at this point, Erica, we don't care. Enjoy your 15 minutes and know that all the money you make will be garnished. Because I think that she'll be held accountable for the many trials that are coming her way next. Speaking of crime and trials, this is where Andy mentions that Tom has been convicted. The fans, Erica was talking about the truth will come out, and the truth came out that, you know, what we thought was the truth, what we saw was the truth. She says that Tom is convicted, and Tom is going for hospitalization, not prison, which is pathetic. You nasty old raisin. What the hell is wrong with you? You do all of that to these people, and now you don't even have the ability to handle this with integrity. It's really sad knowing what he did to people. And these are people who can't afford to get another attorney. These are people who spent all that they had trying to get him to defend them, and for him to not give them their portion of settlement money. People are missing out on surgeries. Quality of life is impacted. It's a lot of things. So I have no respect for it. But they asked Erica if she accepts Tom's, that Tom is guilty, and what she thinks. And she says that what she thinks does not matter, which tells me this bitch still doesn't want to say. She can't say, though, if she has an attorney, and we know in real life now she's being sued as well, she can't say that she accepts that he's guilty without her admitting guilt for herself, if that makes sense. Like, I hope this shows a lot of people that this lady was lying. So what you want us to do, Erica? I don't peep that. Like, that was my attorney told me to say this response. I don't have anything else to say on Erica. I'm not giving that wench the energy or time of day. James, do you have something to add? Feel free.
No. Good luck, Mrs. Girardi. That's all I'm going to say. Best of luck to you. I hope the intangible and God, whatever you believe in, shows mercy on you. I really do. But, like Miss J said in the comments, you full of shit. We all know it. And, 20 years of karma is coming for you. I don't wish it upon you, but you know what? You reap what you sow. Because you were fine with it when you were, glorifying it's expensive to be me in that, half smoker voice you have. So I'm just saying, for me, I wish you luck, ma'am. I really do. That's all.
Yeah. Sometimes the devil can look like just a normal person, and she's an example. Moving it along, y'all. We move on to a segment where we talk about Rita and Sutton. I did appreciate Sutton being open about her mom, and she says that the situation and the trip that was filmed did help her to find some closure, not just with her mom and her relationship, but with her father's passing. She also spoke about how she hopes to be a better friend to the rest of the group. Sutton took a segment that was about herself and so raw and real. I said this could be her chance to like have some type of a redeeming factor. Nope. I hope to be a better friend to y'all. It's almost like she's trying to blame the way she acts toward the ladies on childhood trauma. I just didn't like that. I'm not even going to get into it too much because I'm done with Sutton, but I'm going to give James the opportunity to comment on it.
For me, like I said, y'all know how I feel about Sutton Mama. What Miss J said, hold on, I got to sneeze. Sorry about that, y'all. But I just felt like for me, I didn't really get the sympathy. I didn't get the, like, oh my gosh, like her way of being, and that's, how Erica was trying to relate that to her grandmother and everything. So y'all telling me that we're just supposed to accept racist and decrepit people is what we're saying here. Because that's how I felt. Now, I could be wrong. Some mama don't have to be racist. I mean, I beg to differ, but
she definitely gave old I don't like black people vibes.
Right. So to me, it kind of felt like we were excusing that in this conversation.
Of course. Look at the cast. Look at the host. Of course. They want to point out every negative thing about Garcelle, but they don't want to point that out. And it was very clear. And they even we need a new host of these reunions. Andy is not doing it. He's way too biased. And we need a new cast because the fact that they didn't talk about that, but you're trying to get a black audience. That's what they're trying to do by putting Garcelle and Bose up here. You want to appeal to the black audience, but you don't want to talk about the shit that was right in our face. Like, don't play us for stupid. So they offer well wishes to Teddy with her cancer. We do not want her back. We want her to live. We want her to overcome her cancer. She's in stage 4 brain cancer, but we don't want Teddy back on the show. We do not want her back. We wish you well. We're moving on. I'm not talking about it on my channel.
Agreed.
We move on to discuss Kyle's marriage. And right before we could even get into the segment, that Crystal jumped so far from Kyle. That Crystal's
energy. That Crystal's energy lets you know something. Kyle, you might as well go ahead, get your hat and your broom out the storage.
That Crystal was not fooling with Kyle.
That Crystal was not fooling with you at all, because that Crystal knew you was about to be full of shit right now in this segment. That Crystal was new.
Yep. That was the funniest thing. I said, look at this shit. Now, Kyle, I just want to say before I get into the segment so everyone knows where I stand, because I'm more here for you guys' opinions and so we can talk about it. I want to remind everyone that Kyle Richards Umansky chose to be alone. She chose to separate from her husband. She chose to end it. He wanted to try and make it work. She wanted to end it. So Kathy is crying and says that she would like to see Kyle and Mauricio reconcile. And yep, Miss J clocked it. Sutton Mama gave me, I have black people working for me. Yep. Or has had,
yeah. Until he would look crazy in today's world, so she got rid of him. Yeah, she absolutely gave. Mammy Bell looked just like Garcelle.
Preach. That's the truth. That's the truth. Now, Kathy's crying and wants Kyle and Mauricio to reconcile. She says that she doesn't like change.
We can tell.
Kathy, is that why you still were ready?
Is that why you still wear the recycled hair extensions in your dresses? You don't like change? I'm going to tell you like this. God knew exactly what he was doing with Kathy Hilton, giving her the life that he gave her and giving her the allowances to find a rich millionaire husband. God knew exactly what he was doing, because Kathy wouldn't be able to survive in real time. I don't see Kathy working a 9 to 5. I don't see Kathy, washing dishes. I don't see Kathy cooking dinner. I don't see Kathy picking up kids. I barely see Kathy driving, which is why it tickled me with the first episode when she was driving that little car. I don't see Kathy driving. Kathy is so out of touch with reality that it's
Mm-hmm.
funny. That's why I enjoy her so much, because it's funny to see a real rich woman not have a real life problem.
Honestly, I say get rid of Kyle, keep Kathy.
Yeah.
We get somewhere. We probably get some of the truth because, Kyle brings up, she says she regrets not communicating with Mauricio when asked if she regrets her marriage and choosing to separate. And, then she says women are snakes and, alludes to him enjoying being a bachelor. Kyle takes a snake to know a snake. Hiss, sis. I mean, women are snakes, men are snakes too, but you're saying a lot without saying nothing.
I was
So,
going to say, that's rich coming from your pretentious ass.
right.
Like, to me, I almost felt insulted listening to that.
Where's
Because
Kim
it's
Todd?
like,
Goodbye, Kyle.
right.
I cannot. I just cannot with Kyle. I can't take her seriously. Now, she then mentioned she almost bought a house across the street from LVP. And I was loving Kathy in this segment because she whispered to who was sitting next to her, Erica. I was cracking up because Erica looked like, oh, damn, why am I hearing this? Kathy go whisper, why would she even mention that? Like, because you just mentioning buying a house near LVP to ruffle LVP's feathers because that's all that you ever try to do. And LVP will read you for filth in an interview and keep on with her success. She's building an empire in Vegas. She's got multiple spinoff shows. One of them we're about to recap after this recap. Like, exactly, Miss J. She loves the attention. She loves the attention because, and that's what Kathy was trying to say. You could tell Kathy's a sibling because she's the oldest, and I'm the oldest. I do this where you're like, that she on some bullshit, but you can't really say it, so you're gonna whisper some of your thoughts. But
no, it was when get to the part where she was laughing at Kyle. That was my favorite part.
Now this is that was not the best. We're gonna get into that. But Andy asked Kyle why she behaved obtusely about the cheating allegations that are alleged between her and Mauricio, but she alluded to him cheating at the last reunion. And she responds by saying that she does not want to talk about her children's father. Then get the fuck off of a reality show, bitch.
No, you just didn't want to talk about, because if you have to talk about his cheating, you got to talk about yours too.
I think that's what it is too.
Mm-hmm. Because there's no way that you finna parade as if you were completely innocent.
And she keeps saying so much about him while trying to make it seem like she don't want to say nothing about herself. Like, you're stupid. You're going through phones. You're going through tablets.
Meanwhile, you parading a whole, I guess because it's not another man, she don't consider it cheating.
Yep.
But man, you were cheating too. If Mauricio was out here kissing girls, you were doing the exact same thing. He just mirrored your energy.
And why can't neither of y'all find somebody your age? Y'all both want to date and talk to people who are the same age as your children.
Like, it's ridiculous.
That's weird as hell. Now, you could tell that Kyle had rehearsed answers. I don't know if anybody else peeped it. You could tell that Kyle had rehearsed answers. Now, this is the segment that was funny. They get to asking about Kyle's sexuality, and Kathy starts laughing. Like she got a serious case of the giggles, like a little kid who has so much sugar that they don't know what to do with themselves. And, Kathy points out, so Kyle tries to explain it and how she talked to her daughters. And Kathy was like, I don't understand a word that you're saying, while laughing. And this is where I started to think, oh, this family is homophobic.
Yes.
That's where I started to think that.
You caught it, yes.
Because she's laughing, and I'm like, well, what is funny? She's talking about sexuality. And then Kathy interrupts and is like mentioning how, Kyle's saying she talked to her kids about potentially being interested in women, but she didn't really say that. It was like she was embarrassed to say it. And I said this last season when Kyle says it would be embarrassing. And I'm like, why is that embarrassing? Unless you feel like that is off or not right, or you look at it off, right? So now Kyle is potentially considering being a lesbian, but she's not saying that she's going to talk to Morgan. Kathy interrupts and says that her kids were spoken to about it, and they were all like, they don't care. And even Rick, I was cracking up when she brought up the husband. She said even Rick was like, what is the big deal? Who cares? Because, in Kyle's mind, she thinks she's more important than she actually is, and she thinks that people care if she's gay. We don't. Now, I was cracking up because Kyle snapped at Kathy when she said that. She's like, can you just let me tell it? Just let me tell it. And Kathy whispers to Erica, she said, oh, did I do something wrong? So Andy, Kyle's like, I told my daughters I could be interested in women, and they were like, we love you and embraced you. And Andy goes, that's how my dad reacted when I came out. And Kyle goes, well, I mean, it's not that it came out. Andy's like, it's a good thing. And I'm like, Andy, shame on you, because as somebody who's supposed to be a part of the LGBTQ community, you should have been calling this girl out. Why do you feel so shamed? Like, I feel like the LGBTQ community sometimes is too soft on each other. And this is the example of that, because Kyle is clearly wanting to say that she's dating a woman or talking to Morgan or all of these things. But it's like Kyle said that this is something that she thought would be embarrassing. So it's like, why would dating a woman be embarrassing? If you tell us the truth about Mauricio and be like, he cheated on me for 30 years and I just don't trust men no more, I want to be with a woman, then I would respect that. But instead she bullshits. Miss J said Morgan's ex was working for Kyle's husband. A lot of lies. There's a picture where they are at his birthday party. I see through all of the bullshit. Yeah, I'm not surprised. But James, how did you feel about Kyle somewhat coming out, but not coming out?
Because here's the thing. Kyle thinks that this is beneath her. That's the reason why she acts the way she does. And once again, as I said 100 times, Kyle is pretentious. So this looks bad, which is why she doesn't want to talk about it, which is why she doesn't want to be about it. But you can do it behind closed doors. And then you could parade her and dangle her in front of us like a pair of earrings and expect us just to go ahead and go forward with it. So, but because you worried about your image, now you want to act like it didn't happen. It's really pathetic of you. It really, when I say it's pathetic, I'm saying like the absolute gall of you to sit up there and play, because these are people who really try to live like this that get actually shunned by other people, and your little rich pretentious ass is sitting up there and can freely do it and decide to play on people's feelings and play on people's emotions with it. That's what I have the problem with. I have the problem with her doing this and then making a mockery of it.
Yeah.
Because there's people who can't freely speak about it. There's people who are definitely afraid. There's people who end their lives because they would rather not be public with it than, than to actually live. And for you to do that, it was just sad. It was pathetic. And that's why I said, yeah, I'm glad you called out the homophobic thing, because that's exactly what it was. Why would this be embarrassing?
There's a documentary about their mom, Big Kathy, and it was said that she was very cold, homophobic. She was not a good person.
That's why it pissed me off when they said that, because I think it was Andy who said that Miss Reba reminded him of a Big Kathy, and they said, "Oh no, our mom was warm and cuddly." And I'm looking at both of them like, not the shit I saw. Where was she warm and cuddly at? Behind closed doors?
I think she was warm and cuddly with Kyle and with Kathy, but I don't think that she was that way with Kim. Based on a lot of what Kim has explained, but yes, Miss J, she is playing with the LGBTQ community. It's not right. Listen, regardless if you are for it, against it, whatever the hell, because I welcome all people regardless of views on this channel. I'm gonna say this. If you're going to come out, then come out. Because in some ways she's projecting a narrative about a community that she could potentially be a part of that makes it look like it's not okay. And the last people you want to see projecting that it's not okay is somebody that's in there living the life. You also have people who really are just attracted to women. Like Morgan Wade has made it clear she's a lesbian. You have people who are just attracted to women. You have men who are just attracted to men. And that's where lines get blurred and it makes it difficult for people in that community to date and vice versa. Like, just keep it real. If you like what you like it. It's not fair for anybody to have to hide a relationship with you, Kyle, if that's what's happening because of your ignorant thought process. It's just not fair. No one should have to hide their relationship regardless of who they date, what gender they are, all of that. Like, you shouldn't have to hide your love. Love out loud. That's my motto. But we get to the end. That was pretty much it with Kyle. I'm not gonna waste too much time on her and her forehead. I can't. I'm tired. I don't care. If you and Megan is bumping coochies, then good for you. Or Morgan, whatever the hell the girl name is. I don't listen to country music. Shit. James is laughing at me. It's something with an M. But Andy asked the group at the end of the reunion what their unexpected surprise during the season was. And everybody, explains their little piece. But Garcelle mentioned that she was pleasantly surprised by Sutton and her mom making peace. And Sutton says that she was pleasantly surprised with Erica and would love to, make it right again. And is kissing ass. And Garcelle just looked done. Now they get to the toast. And Jennifer Tilly's giving a toast, and Garcelle made a face because she's like, these ain't no friends in her face. And Sutton tried to hold Garcelle's hand. I don't know who caught it. Garcelle said, nah, bitch, don't touch me no more. We ain't good. Like, you could tell she refused it, and Sutton didn't even catch it. And then they say, okay, cast photo time. And that's where Garcelle puts her drink down and walks the fuck away. She says, I'm not good. I'm out. And Dorit, this racist bitch, because that's what I believe she is, and I'm going to call her that, has the audacity to say, Garcelle, come on. It's unprofessional. Bitch, go pay your mortgage.
You got a lot of nerve and the audacity you could call anybody unprofessional. Ma'am, it is unprofessional of you to parade in people's faces, homeless, but not toothless or whatever the fuck. Whatever the fuck that did, that's unprofessional. It is unprofessional of you to sit up here and take $10,000 out in cash allegedly, and then say you got robbed because you was gonna buy toys for your kids. Well, you can just put it on the debit card because I'm sure your ass has that limit where it wouldn't matter if you put $10,000 on. So come on with that. It is unprofessional for you to call out what everybody is saying on social media because nothing about your robbery makes sense. So it's unprofessional of you to call out just because she had an opinion. I get it's offensive to you, but if it wasn't true, then what you mad at? So that's unprofessional of you, Doris.
It is.
I would have turned around and put both my middle fingers up.
It's unprofessional to say that your only black friend before Bose, while on a show with the first black woman, was the help. So, right. Dorit, there's a lot that we could say about you. It's unprofessional to not know when to shut the fuck up and put the cigarette out because she just talks and talks and talks just to say a bunch of nothing. But Garcelle basically says that there's supposed to be a team and there's no team. She feels dismissed. She feels alone. And she mentions the issue with Dorit's house. She's like, how are they going to get mad and say that I made something dangerous as if I'm a problem for saying some shit that everyone else has been saying? And meanwhile, the cast is calling her unprofessional, saying that it's child's play. Kyle was like, she didn't even have a story. She doesn't even have a story. Bitch, you don't either. You may have a story, but it don't count if you're not sharing it, ho. It don't count. So the cast is proving her point as to why she left. They don't respect her. They're like, whatever. She doesn't have this. She doesn't have that. Nobody went up after her, not even Sutton. And I was not here for the comment at the end from Sutton. Garcelle got the hell up out of there, put the cameras out, said that she was done. The way she was ripping off that dress and it looked difficult to get in that thing, you could tell she's like, I did this shit for these bitches. Is that how they gonna act? Watch this. Watch me work. I'm gone. Sutton comes after the photo, after everyone was talking about her. She's like, let me think. What could have been said? Let me think. What the fuck is there to think about, Sutton? You should have been looking at her with a side eye when she didn't want to hold your hand. But now you care. You have to make sure these other group of white women were okay before you go check on the one who's actually been a friend to you when these women have kicked you down and laughed and been cruel. No. The Sutton's like, oh, we were supposed to have supper. Girl, bye. And they have not spoken since this reunion taped. It has been confirmed. And Sutton has been all in Garcelle's post, trying to comment and give all of these things. Garcelle has paid her no mind.
As she should.
As she should. That is me. Once I see who somebody is, I have a friend who is like that to me. I have a lot of mutual friends with this girl still. Every so often, she tried to come back in my life. I ignore it. That's the best thing you can do for some people. But really fast before we end, before we talk about the end of the season, which is over, I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't like the direction this show is going. I'm going to give this show a trial next season. But if it's the same stuff, I'm not going to keep covering Beverly Hills. I don't support Uncle Tom's in the Black community. Bows. I don't think that money should make you look past your race. You can hold each other accountable while still looking out for each other as Black people. And I think Bose needs to learn that. I just really don't like the direction this show is going. And if I wanted to watch an all-white cast, I'd go to Orange County or something else. But I don't like the direction this show is going. So if they don't improve it next season, I'm going to be done with it. So that is my opinion. We'll give it a trial of 5 episodes next season. This show will be replaced with The Valley, which is a Vanderpump Rules spinoff. I'm a huge VPR fan, like a super fan. So it's interesting to see The Valley, but we are going to give The Valley a trial to see how that goes and see if we can get some viewers. Miss J said, I won't be watching if it sees Mean Girls. Right. I don't have the time for that. Like, I don't. It's triggering, especially like I'm the only one of the few Black women working for a company. So I know what it feels. I empathize with Garcelle. It's triggering. And thank you. We appreciate you for being here for the review. We appreciate you as well, Shani. Appreciate you, Miss J, Kevin Reynolds, everybody who's in here, DM Rocks. We're going to recap The Valley next. Thank you, James. And we'll see y'all next season. Maybe.
Maybe.
Bye-bye.